Welcome to OOTO TV, the out-of-the-office investigation from the past into the future of health. This time we're discussing health benefits of rosemary. I'm Alex, and with me is my co-host, Ben.
Hello everyone, I'm Ben. It's great to be here.
Today we're examining an herb that's likely sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now, but its story goes far, far beyond just flavoring your food. I'm Alex. That's so right, Ben. We are talking about rosemary. From ancient scholars to modern laboratories, this fragrant plant has a reputation that is, frankly, astounding. We're going to explore its history, its chemical makeup, and the scientific evidence for its effects on our brains, our bodies, and even our hair. It's an evergreen shrub from the Mediterranean, praised for centuries, not just for its amazing smell, but for its medicinal properties. And what's so incredible is that modern science is finally catching up and validating what ancient traditions have known for a very long time. We're about to see just how significant this simple herb can be.
I'm Ben, and that quote, it really gets right to the heart of rosemary's legacy. In ancient Greece and Rome, students and scholars would literally wear rosemary wreaths on their heads while studying. They fully believed it sharpened their concentration and boosted their recall. This isn't just a story, it's a tradition that's deeply embedded in folk medicine, and now we get to see how it holds up to rigorous scientific scrutiny.
I'm Alex. All right, so here's our roadmap for today's investigation. We're going to start by exploring rosemary's chemical power. We'll look at the very molecules that give it its strength. Then we'll get into its most famous benefit, a boost for the brain. From there, we'll examine its role as a body protector against things like inflammation, its surprising effects on hair and skin, and then finally, and this is super important, we'll cover how to use it safely. It's going to be a complete look at this incredible herb.
I'm Alex. So, what on earth gives this simple herb its incredible power? Well, it's all in the chemistry. We're about to meet the key players, the heroes of our story really, the phytochemicals that do all the heavy lifting, from protecting ourselves against damage to boosting our brain power.
I'm Ben. Exactly, Alex. And phytochemicals, they aren't your typical vitamins or minerals. You can almost think of them as the plant's own sophisticated defense system. These are biologically active compounds that, when we consume them, can have really profound effects on our own health. They are absolutely crucial for fighting disease, tamping down chronic inflammation, and just maintaining our overall well-being. This right here is where the science of rosemary gets truly fascinating.
I'm Alex. Okay, look at this breakdown. It's fascinating. You've got carnosic acid and carnosol, which are the absolute antioxidant powerhouses. Get this, the research suggests these two alone can provide up to 90% of rosemary's total antioxidant effect. Then you have rosmarinic acid, another potent anti-inflammatory, and finally 1,8-cineol, which you find in the essential oil, and that impacts circulation and brain chemistry directly. But here's the critical detail. How you get it out of the plant matters. Oil-soluble extracts will be rich in carnosic acid, while water-soluble extracts, like making a tea, will be high in rosmarinic acid. This is so important because it explains why different forms of rosemary can have totally different effects on the body.
I'm Ben. And that brings us perfectly to rosemary's most celebrated benefit, its profound effect on the brain. We're moving from the folklore of the herb of remembrance to hard modern research that is showing us exactly how it works to enhance memory, lift our mood, and even protect our precious brain cells from damage.
I'm Alex. So let's just get right to the big question. Is rosemary beneficial for memory and cognition? Can an herb really do that? The science is pointing more and more to a very strong yes. In fact, one really remarkable study found that just inhaling the aroma of rosemary essential oil led to significant, measurable improvements in cognitive performance. It sounds almost too good to be true, but the data's there to back it up.
I'm Alex, and get this, it can work incredibly fast. A study published in Therapeutic Advances in Psychopharmacology found cognitive improvements in people in as little as 20 minutes after they simply inhaled rosemary essential oil. What's more, the researchers found a direct, measurable link. Higher levels of that 1,8-cineol compound in the blood correlated directly with better performance on cognitive tests. That's a clear connection between just the aroma and a real measurable change in brain function.
I'm Ben. So how is this all happening? Well, it's not just one thing. It's like a multi-pronged attack. First, that 1,8-cineol helps protect a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine, which is absolutely critical for learning and memory. In fact, it targets the same chemical pathway as many Alzheimer's drugs. Second, it improves circulation, getting more oxygen-rich blood to the brain.
Third, aromatherapy studies have shown it can reduce stress and anxiety in students, which, as we know, directly impacts cognitive performance. And finally, that powerful antioxidant, carnosic acid, it acts like a bodyguard for our brain cells, protecting them from the free radical damage that contributes to cognitive decline over time.
I'm Alex. So let's circle back to our question. Is rosemary beneficial for memory?
Well, it really seems the answer is yes. A major 2022 systematic review of animal studies was pretty conclusive. It analyzed 23 different studies and found that, overall, rosemary and officinalis improved cognitive outcomes across the board, in both healthy and cognitively impaired animals. The results were consistent, no matter the species or the type of memory test used. I'm Ben, and that's a really key distinction to make, Alex. These are primarily animal studies. They're incredibly promising, and they show a clear biological effect, but we have to be careful not to just jump to conclusions about humans. This kind of research is a vital step, but we still need more large-scale, randomized human trials to confirm these effects definitively.
I'm Alex. You're listening to OOO-TV with research by author Paul Bulow.
I'm Alex. Oh, I absolutely agree, Ben, but the potential here is just huge, especially when you think about the fight against neurodegenerative diseases. Researchers are so encouraged that they're actually developing a modified, more stable version of carnosic acid. And in 3 clinical studies, this new compound showed it could reduce harmful proteins related to Alzheimer's disease like amyloid beta and tau. This is a clear indicator that rosemary can improve health and well-being in truly significant ways.
I'm Ben. Right, and rosemary's benefits extend well beyond the brain. Its active compounds, particularly that carnasic and rosmarinic acid we mentioned, also have potent anti-inflammatory and immune-supporting properties. This is crucial for areas like gut health and helping our bodies fight off infections.
I'm Alex. So this brings up another really important question. Is rosemary beneficial for intestinal health? This slide gives us a really clear picture. One study in mice with a condition that models inflammatory bowel disease found that rosemary extract was a significant help. It actually calmed the overactive immune response, protected the colon tissue, and lowered key inflammatory markers.
I'm Ben, and again, it's just so important to frame that correctly. This was a chemically induced colitis model in animals, which is a standard and very valuable first step in research. But the specific mechanisms they observed, like the reduction of inflammatory proteins like TNF, alpha, and COX-2, provide a very strong scientific basis for exploring this in future human studies for chronic conditions.
I'm Alex, and beyond just taming inflammation, rosemary is also a formidable ally for our immune system. The very same compounds we've been talking about, carnosic and rosmarinic acids, have demonstrated broad-spectrum antimicrobial properties. We're talking about fighting bacteria, viruses, and even fungus. So regularly including rosemary in your diet could give your immune system a nice little extra layer of defense.
I'm Ben. Okay, now for its external applications. It is fascinating that rosemary has become so incredibly popular for cosmetic uses, particularly for promoting hair growth. And this isn't just word of mouth or anecdotal evidence anymore. There's compelling clinical research here that's worth a really serious look.
I'm Alex. This is where it gets really exciting for a lot of people. A landmark 2015 randomized trial put rosemary oil head-to-head with minoxidil. That's the active ingredient in Rogaine for treating common pattern baldness. After 6 months, the results were stunning. The rosemary oil group saw an increase in hair count that was statistically equivalent to the minoxidil group. It worked just as well, but, and this is a big but, with significantly less scalp itching, which is a common side effect of minoxidil.
I'm Ben. That point about tolerability is so crucial. A treatment is only good if you can actually stick with it, right? But it's also important to manage expectations. That 2015 study showed that the significant results for both groups were seen at the 6-month mark, not earlier. So if you're going to try this, patience and consistency are absolutely key.
I'm Alex, and the research just keeps getting better. I mean, a more recent 2023 study on mice found that a 1% rosemary hair lotion was even more effective than minoxidil in stimulating hair growth. We're talking better hair quality, length, and weight. It's just another powerful piece of evidence showing that the health benefits of rosemary significantly improves health and function.
I'm Ben, and while hair seems to get most of the attention, rosemary is also really beneficial for the skin. Its antimicrobial properties can help fight acne-causing bacteria, that antioxidant carnosic acid may help protect skin from UV damage, and its anti-inflammatory effects can soothe conditions like eczema. It's a truly versatile ingredient for any kind of topical application. I'm Alex. You're listening to OOTC TV with research by author Paul Bulow.
I'm Alex. Okay, so after discussing all of these incredible benefits, it is absolutely vital that we talk about safety.
Like any powerful natural compound, rosemary needs to be used responsibly. Understanding the correct forms, the right dosages, and any potential interactions is key to getting the benefits without any of the risks. I'm Ben, and this leads us to the most crucial question of all. Are the health benefits of rosemary safe? Well, the general answer is yes, but with some very important caveats. While the FDA recognizes rosemary as generally safe in food, the form and the dosage are absolutely critical. There's a massive difference between the herb you sprinkle on your potatoes and a bottle of highly concentrated essential oil. I'm Ben. Let's break down these safety guidelines nice and clearly. First, and this is the most important one, never ever ingest essential oil. It's highly concentrated and it can be toxic. Culinary use, totally fine. For topical use, like on your scalp, you absolutely must dilute the essential oil in a carrier oil, like jojoba or coconut oil, to prevent skin irritation. Now, certain groups should be cautious. Pregnant people should avoid high doses, and those with epilepsy should also be careful because of a compound called camphor. And finally, if you're on medications like blood thinners or ACE inhibitors, it's essential to talk to your doctor, as rosemary can interact with them. The universal bottom line is this: always consult a healthcare professional before starting any new supplement regimen.
I'm Alex. So, after looking at all this evidence, from brain health all the way to hair growth, it's just incredible to step back and see the full picture. This isn't just a fragrant herb for cooking. It's a multifaceted natural remedy whose traditional uses are now being validated by modern science. The scope of its benefits is truly remarkable.
I'm Alex. This slide really illustrates the sheer range we're talking about. We've seen compelling evidence for its role in supporting brain function. The herb of remembrance truly lives up to its name. We've seen its power in calming gut inflammation and boosting our immune system. We've looked at the clinical data for hair and skin. When you see it all laid out like this, you just realize the health benefits of rosemary are powerful.
I'm Ben. That's the perfect synthesis, Alex. The evidence is compelling, and it's growing every single year. The key takeaway from our entire investigation is responsible and informed use. The science absolutely supports its power, but following safety guidelines is what ensures we can actually realize its benefits. From its specific phytochemicals to the clinical trials, the story is consistent. This is an herb with significant biological activity, where ancient wisdom is meeting modern validation. For some, the health benefits of rosemary are life-changing.
I'm Alex, and that leaves us with this final thought. As researchers develop new compounds derived from rosemary for conditions like Alzheimer's, are we on the cusp of this ancient herb playing a major role in the future of medicine and wellness? It's a really exciting question to ponder. I'm Ben. Thanks for joining us on OOTO TV. I'm Alex. We'll see you next time as we investigate another topic from the past into the future of health.